And yeah, well, the match today, the first one, maybe also the last one we'll see, is gonna be between Mor and Hagrit. Is the quarterfinals, of course, of the Age of Mythology / the Titans Summer Championship hosted by Evil Destroyer for 200 euros still. And it's gonna be a best of 5, of course, as usual, with players choosing their home maps. And the first map is gonna be a Wobbly Balance patch 2.0 on the standard Titans, and then 2 and 3 would be on hybrid mode with vanilla rules, and the fourth one would be again 2.0, and the fifth one would be on hybrid again. So here we are. It's gonna be first map on Blue Lagoon, which is the chosen map for Mor. It's gonna be playing Oranos, and Hagrit is gonna be playing Zeus. That is, of course, a matchup of the main gods of them, so apparently they're not taking any kind of chances with what they are gonna be playing as. And I have actually noticed last time that actually I might have been speaking a bit too fast. I'm not entirely certain. If it's actually I'm speaking too fast, let me know. I can try to slow it down, because it's kind of actually different. When I'm hearing myself talk, then usually it doesn't really sound that fast to me, and it seems kind of fine. But when I then actually listen to the video, it seems that I might be really talking a bit more slower, and it would be maybe better for the quality of the videos. So basically let me know if you would prefer some other cadence to the speech or something like that, and I could try to accommodate, even though, yeah, well, of course, it's not gonna be all that easy. But anyway, I'm gonna try to think about speaking a bit slower this time around, as we are looking at more scouting around the base, of course, and around the TCs. That's gonna be one save for him, of course, the one save at the top for Hagrid as well. That's exactly how the map spawns. But of course, in the middle, this is also the feature of Blue Lagoon, that basically almost always, or quite often, you do have the front TCs basically in the vicinity of each other within one screen, and that is of course gonna be making it quite interesting as far as some kind of map control goes. You'll be basically thinking, sorry, thinking that Oranos should be having bit better map control, but you mustn't forget that Zeus basically can do anything that he wants, and he is gonna be always quite strong in even any kind of map control like that, even against a god like Oranos. So let's see how it's gonna be playing out, because you'll be expecting, well, usually you go for some horses against an Atlantean as a Zeus, but the thing is that is, for example, the Oranos is quite heavy on Turmas, basically goes without maybe even Murminos, just double counter barracks sometimes. Then you could be kind of well off, even going only Hoplites. Now, Hoplites are kind of solid counter unit to Turmas, and they are overall pretty good, and of course with their bonus against buildings, they always can be quite dangerous to the weaker Atlantean standing monuments, of course. Alright, let's basically right now switch into Hagrit. He has already scouted quite well. Knows that he's having extra hand behind his base, already coming to there. Oh, wait, one. That's gonna be like one monkey, right? Yes. It's gonna be one stray monkey right there, as he is still right now finishing with the giraffes in there inside his base. And then this is apparently already gonna be shift click, I would be expecting. Yeah. Already shift click in so that he doesn't have to actually look at it at all. And he's already moving also into another hunting spot on the right, having plenty of that. But since we are on Blue Lagoon, that's gonna be quite normal, because of course Blue Lagoon is a reasonably higher hunt map. Okay, let's switch off the fog of war so that we see the map in full, basically the positions of the goal, and maybe even some relics somewhere. Alright. So this is actually a very good goal for Hagrid, right next to Ruhan. That's gonna be a pretty good spot. Just now noticing the idol in there for a moment. And looking also at this gold mine. Actually, when he does conquer this TC, if he does take it, then he's gonna be having a very good claim on basically all the golds on the right side. Basically 1, 2, and maybe even this one, even though it's really kind of further away. He would have to do quite some interesting walling, of course, to protect it. But here, and very long one here. So, not really expecting that all that much. A triple of hyenas, or rather triple or double? No, double. Double of hyenas with the rhino in that. Potentially interesting food source all around, of course, especially because of the rhino. And he's already coming for the temple in this position. And it might be getting kind of tricky because of the cliff here. Because looking at the cliff, that will probably allow Turmas, and maybe even a bit later, some Archive, to come quite forwardish into the enemy base. He's probably going to be also using the berries at one time. And it could be making raiding quite a bit easier for Mor, if he can actually abuse this. And he's of course going to be quite capable in stopping any kind of favor gathering, if that is going to be coming into place. Which is not all that impossible, all things considered, because Hagrid might be coming. He is actually coming for Hermes, and therefore he might be having, of course, especially with the 2 villages still being there, having some kind of idea of Centaur raiding. That definitely seems like the plan. You can see those 2 villages on gold. A reasonable amount of food, and these are probably going to be coming on wood. It definitely seems so. He's having 5 on woods. He's going to be having 8 on wood, so yeah. He's definitely Centaur raiding right there. coming from Hagrit. And what is gonna be the counterplay, of course? You can see he's already having the waypoint basically right next to this wood line. So he is already gonna be becoming quite aggressive, but you can see that Mor is prepared quite well at 415 advance. Hermes is gonna be advancing at about, well, 430. Hermes aka Hagrid, of course. And he is right now, you can see that Mor is playing this quite carefully because he wants to protect the gold as much as possible. You can see how he's hugging it with the temple and the manor. But of course, since the centaurs are having quite a huge range, it's not really gonna be mattering a whole lot. Otherwise, his food is of course favorably positioned for Hagrid, because Hagrid is gonna be having easier time potentially going for them, especially since he's right now discovering them. Or, oh well, he missed them. Well, that's unlucky. That's quite unlucky. He at least knows. He might be having some kind of idea that potentially the villages could be there because of the zebras in that position, of course, that he has scouted. But otherwise, that was really kind of unlucky. He just didn't see them enough. Right now, you would be seeing at least the house and everything. And that would be making things a whole lot easier, of course. As right now, he will have to scout around and potentially gonna be attacking only the gold. Kind of interesting that he actually wanted to use the special attack on there. As with the army with power is already coming forward from Mor. That's of course because he has advanced about 15-20 seconds earlier. That was a very well used bolt on one of the Murmilos, and that's exactly what you want to do. Because even though you could be thinking that the Turmas are a bit more dangerous, they definitely are not. Because Murmilos are a very strong unit, and as they are heroes, they will be even also basically capable of dealing with the heroes, and that is something that, of course, Hagrid doesn't want to do all that much, because Jason, his speed armor at 34%, especially considering the Turmas attack is not all that huge. The melee attack from the Murmillo would be a whole lot scarier at only 25%. That's basically similar to Hippicons, nothing all that huge. And that's why, of course, it's usually better to deal with the Murmillo rather than with anything else. With the bolt in there. So okay, already a bit of Raiden. And actually success for Raiden. You can see that actually this is quite underestimated by Hagrid. Maybe he just didn't notice in time. And one villager died for him. That's definitely unfortunate. As the rest of the units are coming forward as well. And it's one of the villages... Actually two. Alright, so if this is actually gonna be played properly by Mor, he could very easily pick those two off just by the Turmas. It's gonna be like 2 souls I'm expecting on both of them. Shouldn't be really all that impossible and all that hard. But right now with all the... basically... all the economy in the front. And of course right now being pushed off the hand. This is very well played by Mor and kinda... without any precautions from Hagrid, I have to say. He definitely should have expected this, so... yeah, especially since he has seen basically where all the villages, or rather where all the army is going. He did have an escape route at the top. You can see between the forest line and the edge of the map. He definitely could have escaped, so he should have seen this through the house and where the units were going and sending them there. Definitely would have saved him the villager hit points quite a bit, and even Jason, because he wouldn't have to defend it all that much, and maybe even at all, as, oh well. Did he like forget Odysseus there? That's right now the centaur polemarch is already coming to the left side. Correctly, exactly onto the hunt in there, but the hero Turma is gonna be exactly in position and he will be forced to retreat, because having only one centaur polemarch here, and especially with the manor in there, he's not gonna be efficient at all. So this is basically Mor exactly expecting what his opponent is gonna be doing, and that is gonna be making his job quite a lot easier, because he knows that right now he has pretty much stopped Hagrid in his tracks. You can see Hagrid already switching into the Hippicons right there. Let's see if it's gonna be fast enough. He's buying himself a bit of time, of course, with the towers. It's gonna be helping quite a bit, but you can see what kind of upgrades is he having. And ducks, that makes sense. For the opponent, we are not gonna be seeing anything. It's also making quite a bit of sense because he's advancing very fast indeed. But right now, Hagrid's economy is, well, kinda solid. I have to say it's kinda solid. He definitely could be using a bit more wood at this point, but it seems like he's investing into the military academy, and the combination of hoplits and hippicons is gonna be kinda intensive on the food. But it has to be said that he doesn't really want to go for archery range, because of course he is wanting to spend all the food, or rather all the wood, on the centaurs, and he doesn't want to spare it on any kind of other unit. Poor guy's pretty much dead. Basically right now this is kinda double-edged sword if you are having a unit like this, like a hero from a Greek, which is a very powerful unit. But since he is gonna be so easily killed, it might be actually luring you into a bad battle. Because you might be thinking, yeah, this is a pretty strong army, and if he doesn't like notice or forgets that Odysseus is basically like one shot away from death, then you could be taking a battle that you shouldn't be taking. Because of course, once the Odysseus is gonna be dying, the battle is gonna be completely shifting. It's gonna be a whole lot weaker army at that point. And yeah, those things really you need to pay attention to them. And sometimes it might be advisable to have such a unit actually let it die as soon as possible and basically build it, even though it's really expensive. Considering you are gonna be fighting against so many Turmas, and you could be considering also that more might be microing at least a bit, which is absolutely not true right now. So he's completely throwing my predictions off. But basically the first thing that definitely should have happened was picking up the Odysseus exactly like here, and that would have maybe even forced Hagrid to retreat a whole lot earlier, because really this guy, he can take a lot of punishment. That's one of the tasks that he has in the early fights as a Greek. Yeah, well, he of course is quite a capable archer on top of that. Right now the army is getting stronger for Hagrid, quite a good combination already. You can see the 4 centaurs with quite a bit of hoplites, and of course the hippigons as well. But Hagrid's economy is really strained. He is right now gonna be even housed, whereas Mor is having about 15 more population limit and having, well, as an Atlantean, quite a solid economy, but he is a bit more on the wood that he definitely needs. Yeah, he could be sending at least one of those citizens or something else, probably food. Seems like he's kinda missing on that. So right now this might be getting a bit difficult, as those centaurs are gonna be scouted. This is very well positioned by Mor in there, but in the meantime he's also sending his army forward, trying to maybe discover if there's gonna be something to destroy, and that definitely is. Though of course with the defense of the towers, those towers are gonna be exactly giving the time to Hagrid to do what he wants to do, and that is of course trying to see around if maybe he could be raiding at least a bit on some kind of food source or maybe something else, but it doesn't seem all that likely, especially since Mor has just captured the second TC. Meaning that he is, right now, of course, enlarging his map control, and with all the army that he's already having, gonna be even popped at 2 TCs pretty soon. Looking at Hagrid, all basically staying at only at the 85 population limit, it's gonna be getting increasingly difficult for him to control all of this. His TC, well, it's gonna be standing. It just basically depends if Hagrid will be forced to use this ceasefire in there. Well, let's see if it's gonna be really needed or not, and yes, it's gonna be needed. Especially because of the strong reinforcement from the left side. This is so gonna be needed, especially with Mor playing it quite well. Sending all the melee units on to basically dealing damage, basically slowing it down, as the Turmas can deal with the rest of them, and they should already have been ceasefire like 5 seconds ago. It was absolutely obvious, they just couldn't have worked. They just couldn't have worked with all the army in there, and like, even if he would have finished the TC under the pressure with Mor somehow misplaying, what it would have resulted into would be complete annihilation of all Hagrid's army. With basically Mor having most of it intact, so that would be a really pretty bad fight. So that was the ceasefire right from the get-go. And it should have been cast earlier, but anyway, that didn't happen, and right now it's gonna be meaning that with the centaurs coming forward, it's gonna be of course a bit harder for Mor to somehow control the middle of the map. Because the front TC has been first captured for Hagrid, and he is right now gonna be given an opportunity to maybe outcontrol Mor on this TC. Let's see if it's gonna be the case. Though I would be expecting that Mor will be already into Heroic Age, thinking about Heroic Age. Because at this point, the 160, the gold is pretty good. You can see he's a bit more over-gathering on the gold, but he's definitely gonna be having opportunities to spend it, so that's fine. Can see 7 plow, but pickaxe and handaxe could be going a long way for him. Especially the pickaxe. Anyway, right now the ceasefire is gone, and we're gonna be having solid engagement. Oh, how did that happen from Hagrid? Why did he have the centaurs in the middle of the enemy army at the end of the ceasefire? Well, it almost seemed like that maybe Mor just basically maneuvered himself in that position, that Hagrid was trying to maybe go for a bit of raiding, but it just didn't work out. Right now you can see that basically Red is dying like, well, quite fast. Quite fast indeed, but not really fast enough. This is kind of like solid battle for both. But if I were Mor, I would be definitely concentrating those hero Turmas on the centaurs and not on Jason. That was really misplayed quite solidly. Considering that he doesn't really have to pay attention anywhere else, it's slightly, well, considering at what level he's also playing, that's really not well played at all. Definitely could have been done better. And if he did that, I'm really thinking he could have mitigated the losses and maybe even won the battle altogether. Because, of course, those centaurs, those mythical units, are the biggest danger. But at the same time, it also has to be said that Hagrid, like, didn't micro properly either. Because what you want to do in this position as Hagrid, as a Zeus with mythical units, you want to get rid of the heroes first and foremost. You basically send all the army at them and leave the mythical units to deal with the normal army, because that's where they are strong. And if he doesn't have heroes, he either has to invest into them, which is expensive for him, potentially delaying the TC, maybe delaying Heroic Age, something like that. But of course, without the heroes to kill the centaurs are gonna be staying in the battle for much longer, and of course are gonna be a lot more effective. So, that could have been not better. Right now, I was kinda thinking that Hagrid didn't have to be so skittish. I think this is a worthwhile investment. Send the centaur hoplites to deal with the TC. You're gonna lose them, but you are gonna basically destroy the TC. You're gonna delay it for more than 30-40 seconds more. That's definitely worth it in a battle like this. Keeping you at the same TCs, especially since you are not even thinking about the back one. Next is scouted by more, of course, in there. He'll be getting the information, but he definitely got scared because of the Kero Ballista there. And while that is viable, I really think that delaying the Atlantean a bit more could have been worthwhile, even at the loss of the few units in there. Because it's not like Mor could have actually pushed back, could have gone for some kind of attack, because the TC is close by. He could have easily retreated to that, and he just doesn't have enough right now to go for anything. Maybe for a bit of raiding with the Turmas, could have happened, but as soon as Hagrid actually got a few more army back, he would be forcing him to retreat again, so I really think there wasn't much of a risk to losing those few hoplites and slowing down the TC even more. It could have been a bit more efficient, but of course the Kero Ballista are a pretty good choice for more. It's a very nice reaction exactly to the hoplites in there, and that's gonna be of course a problem for Hagrid, because he will need medium Hippicons absolutely certainly, and probably even Heroic Age and Manticores, I'm thinking. I would really go for Manticores at this point if I were him, but he's having problems of course right now into... This is a bad idea. This is a horrible idea actually. I'm just right now talking about the farms, because this TC is absolutely inevitably gonna be finding itself under battle quite a bit. Oh, nice sketch. Very nice sketch by Mor in there, and that's because of this dude. You can see tactical positioning of oracles is very important, and this basically leads me to think that even though valoring them at the start is definitely viable tactic and strategy all around, what basically isn't done is making oracles after you lose the initial ones. Basically, barely anyone does that. But it's a really pretty good scouting unit, and it doesn't really eat all that much population limit. Basically, it's only one population limit. That's a very good scouting unit. And if you can, like, basically tank it and park it right next to a position like here, next to TC, next to gold, I really think it's quite worthwhile, especially with playing as an Oranos, which means that in the Heroic Age you're gonna be having extra population limit through the Dryads, so you really shouldn't be missing it all that much. But the extra information you're gonna be getting is just invaluable, exactly like here. It basically gold starved, at least for the moment, Hagrid. And well, that is something that Mor otherwise wouldn't have had if the Oracle wasn't there. Okay, kinda deadish those two. As he's right now through Thea, Hagrid seems to be thinking about the Heroic Age. You can see right now 600 put in there, but apparently having problem with the gold because of this, of course. Exactly the effect right there. This Fanturma is gonna be killing this villager, most certainly, and maybe even more. But this is actually very nicely played, because that's basically a guardian wall, but also gonna be effective, as that's archer range, double stables, and military academy, quite a good combination. But he could be using a bit more upgrades, and especially pickaxe. He still hasn't gotten around to getting pickaxe, and that's also the reason why he's so slow on getting the gold up, even though he's having a decent amount of villages in there. So well, so quite nice abuse, of course, abuse of the villages, but very nice find by Mor at all of those villages, and Hagrid is gonna be advancing forward. And at this point, looking at the combination of the army that he's facing, especially the Kero Ballista, I really think he needs to go through Apollon, because Manticores are really pretty good unit. I mean, like, Hydras are not bad either with bronze, that's a good combination. But Manticores are especially powerful actually, with their spread attack and spread range attack. They really can deal with the Kero Ballista, they can deal with the Murmillos really well. So it's not a unit to underestimate at all. And even in 1v1s, Apollon and even the Underworld Passage can be quite helpful. It's even upgraded Promethean, right? Yeah, he's having alluvial clay, or how is it called? Yes. For the better hit points. Okay, so this is right now getting scary for Hagrid. Because even though he's advancing already through Dionysus, yeah, well, I think that Manticos would be slightly better in this situation that he's in. But I don't think really that either of the gods is a bad choice. Not really. It would be also, what would be also an advantage of the Manticores would be the attack on the Stymphalian birds. He would be able to attack them. Right now he's basically reliant fully on a few centaurs and Odysseus, which is not really kinda enough. You can see right now already spam from more coming forward, and the red is having absolutely horrible right now time, and well, like, why? Why would you engage now? That makes no sense. I mean, like, you are 20-25 seconds away from bronze. So what you need to do is hope to survive this, and then cast the bronze on all the army, and then go into the attack if you think you can break through, which was kinda questionable from the get-go. I mean, like, Hagrid is in a pretty horrible situation right now anyway. Whatever he would have done, More is definitely having the upper hand, but the logic there was slightly lacking. But it might be also a bit of a psychology right now at play, that he really realizes that the situation is getting out of hand quite significantly, and it was a bit of a desperation move, trying to see if he doesn't get lucky and maybe more misplay somehow massively. But it didn't happen against C, and he's right now pushing on the TC. It's gonna be definitely coming down, and even the Hydra is not gonna be having enough attack to get the second head. Right now we are looking at the bronze, of course. It's not gonna be doing a whole lot of difference with this low army. And yeah, Hagrid is right now gonna be giving up, as of course not only this huge attack is coming forward, but also the Ride's coming for the gold, and Hagrid finally getting the shaft mine, realizing that the problem was with the gold. Well, that's just a bit too late, isn't it? It's just a bit too late at this point. Coming for the TC at the top, still scouted, so Mor would have exactly known, but at this point he just didn't care. He already had the fortified TC, and of course, he just didn't need anything more. We're just looking if maybe he was advancing into the mythical age yet, but he was definitely close by. You can see 1500. So he was in a pretty good position in this game. So well played. Well played indeed. So it's gonna be more winning most of it. Mythology obviously coming for Hagrid because he was gathering plenty and making the mythical units and everything. So that was very well played. And Master Oli, thank you very much for the bits. Thank you very much. Hope you're gonna be enjoying today's stream. With the economy, of course, being quite a bit stronger, especially on the gold department in there. That's a lot of difference. And of course, the difference that has been reflected in the advances into the next ages, in the heroic age especially. Well, especially only heroic age, of course. You can see the difference in the military counts. 112 for Mor, 65 for Hagrid. The units lost, of course, that's the end battle in there, where Mor just didn't lose as much, and he was having quite an advantage at that point. Still having the most used unit be Turma. 14 Centaur Polemarchs, that's actually quite a big number. But like Hagrid wasn't able to really use them properly in the game. As Mor was exactly expecting him to go that strategy, like it's not that much of a hard guess to be honest, in this matchup, but Hagrid just couldn't really do anything, any raiding. Mor was prepared with Manors, with Hero Turmas at exactly the correct places. It was really hard matchup from the get-go. Oh, the Zeus player. Yeah, that was the last engagement that just didn't go well. GG.